Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics, and we are going to talk specifically about Allan Lichtman. So, Allan Lichtman, I think he called 6 or 7 elections in a row using Allan Lichtman's keys. He had these keys, and he would turn them, and it was a pretty cool device, right? He was completely wrong on Kamala Harris. He used his keys mechanism and called it wrong, and I beat him. I called it on August 9th. I said, Donald Trump is going to soundly defeat Kamala Harris, right? Like, called it no problem, right? Didn't need any keys to do it, right? But I did want to talk about Allan Lichtman and what and first of all, I want to congratulate him because he took his lumps, right? He was on CNN before, squawking about his keys. He was completely wrong. He went right back on CNN, and then he let the CNN lady say, hey, were the keys wrong, or were your interpretation of the keys wrong? I couldn't believe what he said. He said the keys were wrong, not my interpretation of the keys. I'm like, what? Like, dude. And then this blew me away. And then he said, well, here's why it didn't work. People weren't voting rationally. No, you ridiculous fool. Like, no. And first of all, I have a degree I got a political science degree, right? Like, I have a bachelor's in political science. I know more about politics than Allan Lichtman, period. End of sentence, right? And the reason why is I can delineate my emotional processing from my intellectual processing. He could not, right? Like, he could not, had all these spreadsheets, couldn't help but, pouring his heart and soul into a particular cell, which got all the formulas cocked up. Right? So come on, like, hey, let's remember, your emotions don't belong on a spreadsheet. Right? And the reality is, spreadsheets and data, that's old nonsense. It's all pattern recognition now, right? Okay, all right, so let's get into this. So he said, hey, people aren't thinking rationally. You ridiculous fool. Have you read even a single book? Right? Like, come on, okay? A couple years, like 10, 15 years ago, a dude won the Nobel Peace Prize, right? You know what got him the Nobel Peace Prize? In finance, right? 15 years ago, a dude won the Nobel Peace Prize, and I've never forgotten it. I've talked about it multiple times. And all he did was tell a bunch of bankers, right? This is all he did. He was like, hey, people don't spend their money rationally. They spend their money irrationally, thinking emotionally about numbers. And this is not and he was like, that's it. Do you understand that? Right? And a whole bunch of bankers were like, what? People spend their money emotionally and not rationally? And he goes, yeah. And guess what? We have a ton, industries of financial data based on the idea that people will make rational acts when they don't, right? Like, this ain't new. This is 15 years old and made international news when a dude was like, hey, people don't make rational news with their money. Make rational decisions with their money, right? If people don't make rational decisions with their money, why on earth do you think they wouldn't vote emotionally? They are, right? So Allan Lichtman, ridiculous. But hey, I give him his props for going and taking his lumps. Right? That's no small thing. He could have just disappeared, he could have dodged interviews the way Harris did. Right? But apparently Allan Lichtman realizes dodging interviews don't work. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.